When do we get sponsors?
Well, we'll see.
I just want a big old box of something. When are they going to send us stuff?
What if you get sponsored by something that you don't want to wear?
Doesn't matter. It's free.
Lululemon
Father,
pants.
I got into this podcast business for free stuff. Okay.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Everyone's out there listening, send me a big old box of that.
Okay. Well, welcome everyone to our weekly Cougar Chat. I'm Father Joe, the chaplain here at Lansing Catholic, joined as always by Mr. Stolpa. How are you today?
Greetings to you all. Doing well.
I'm looking at the calendar for updates this week. We'll give you some updates. We're also doing an interview later with Mrs. Tietsort. She is our band instructor as well as the director of the musical this year. And then we'll do some mailbag.
Sounds like a plan, Father.
First of all, things going on. Well, we have staff personal retreat days happening. So I don't know if anybody really knows about this outside of the building, but all of our staff are encouraged to take a personal retreat day every year. And that entails coming to school like you normally would, but instead of teaching that day, you have a holy hour in the morning in the chapel, so prayer time, and then they have a little bit of a break. And then an hour of spiritual direction with me or with another spiritual director we work with at Resurrection Parish. And then they have another prayer time. Then we give them some lunch. And then they have some downtime in the afternoon. So they get to come in and have a chill day, but also get some prayer time in. So those are going on. Be sure to pray for our staff. And the reason why we do that is because we want all of our staff to really be serious about their faith. Because if we're really trying to make a difference in the lives of the students that come here and bring them into a relationship with Jesus, that's only going to happen if all of us are, first of all, doing that ourselves.
Do we know how many teachers have done it so far this year, Father?
I didn't have that stat ready. I don't know.
Ill prepared.
I'd say like maybe about half of them have done it.
All right, so half of the staff.
So yeah, but it's good. I enjoy doing them too. It's fun to check in with the teachers and see how they're doing in their spiritual direction time. Also, we've got our Jeremiah 1-7 high school priesthood discernment group that meets once a month. It's not really a school thing exactly, but we happen to have almost all of the participants are our own students, so we might as well call it the Lansing Catholic discernment group. But
Father, I've never heard of this. Could you please explain this a little bit more?
So once a month on Monday nights, we meet over at St. Thomas Aquinas in East Lansing. We have dinner. We usually just have pizza. We have a little book that we're all reading together. It's called To Save 1,000 Souls, kind of one of those classic priesthood discernment books. And then we go to the chapel there and pray before the Blessed Sacrament for about 30 minutes. Let's see what else is going on. Friday, we've got our Lenten Confessions Day. So every Friday of the year, I hear confessions all day while the students are in adoration, so they can go to confession if they want, but it's just me. But on these particular days, so one day in Lent, one day in Advent, I bring in a bunch of priests from the surrounding area so that the students have options for who they want to go to confession to. And this Friday...
This is a good thing, because if you're like me and you're afraid to tell Father Joe all the bad things you've done because, you don't want Father to know those things, then you can go to a different priest who may not know you, who may not remember you.
Exactly.
But Father's not allowed to tell everybody what he said or heard anyway. So.
Yeah, I just was teaching the freshman theology class about this. The seal of the confessional. Can't tell anyone ever.
Not even the police, right,
Not
Father?
the police.
So if someone went up to you and said, I just killed a guy, what would be your advice? Would you encourage that person to go to the police? Or would you say, well, that's too bad?
I mean, if he was coming to me and sincerely asking for mercy and absolution, I would give him absolution, but I would also encourage him, yes, to go talk to the police and turn yourself in. And
church teaching wise and church and canon law, can you make part of his penance to go to the police?
You cannot. No,
Okay.
a penance cannot oblige someone to reveal their sins.
Okay.
There we go. See, I was prepped for that one because I just had all these questions with the freshman class.
If only we had a mailbag, Father, where people could submit these questions.
Well, we do. You can submit your questions in the link in the show notes. Be sure to send us all your questions. They don't have to be theological questions. I mean,
No, they could be about anything.
About those, but we could talk about whatever you want. All right, what else do we have going on? There's no school today, right?
Nope. Today is February 19th. It's a day off from school. It's President's Day. So if you're listening to this, and usually you listen to us at 6 a.m., it might be like 8 a.m. and you're just waking up and pouring a big old bowl of cereal. That's great. Don't go to school today.
Enjoy your day off.
Thursday, our next year's 9th graders. What class is that, Father? Is that the class of 28?
I think so.
The class of 2028 will be coming to register for classes here at school. And I believe that starts at 3:30. The first wave of kids and their parents come in, and we encourage them to take the certain classes.
Great. Well, maybe we'll see some of you there.
All right, now we are joined with Mrs. Tietsort. She is our band director. She is also directing our current play. Now, Mrs. Tietsort, I grew up in a household where the musicals of the day were readily and steadily on our TV. So I grew up with, Oklahoma, and I grew up with all the Rodgers and Hammersteins. Did you find a similar thing when you were younger, or when did you come across musicals as something you enjoyed?
No, I didn't have musicals in my house, which is funny, except for Cinderella. When I was in kindergarten, I watched Cinderella on TV. I got into musicals in high school.
Were you in the musicals in high school?
I was.
What was your first one?
Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah. I was in the back corner because I can't dance and I can't act, but I can sing. So.
Oklahoma, after I watched that, terrified me for life because I always thought anytime I'd use a kaleidoscope, some sharp thing would shoot me in the eye. So that one terrified me.
That's funny.
So when I was at Sacred Heart Seminary in Detroit, we actually did musicals, and I also can't act very well, but I can sing. So they always gave me a part where I could sing, and that would be my contribution.
Yeah.
So you're also the band director. When did you discover your love for music, for instruments, and for all things related to band?
Well, this isn't really related to band, but my dad was a barbershop singer. He sang in
Really?
barbershop quartets. Yes, one of my first memories is me standing in the middle of his quartet while they were practicing and looking up at them. So he's very into music. So when I was in kindergarten, he said, "You're going to take piano lessons." And so I did.
And that was the
then
beginning of the career.
That was the beginning.
In high school and middle school, what instrument did you play?
Saxophone.
Really?
I did. Yeah.
Were you the jazz band too then?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And marching band.
Marching band.
Yeah.
And you teach at other schools too as well. Where else do you teach?
I teach at IHM and at Resurrection, 5th grade and middle school band.
So how do you keep all that balance? It kind of sounds like when a priest is in charge of multiple parishes, it's just a bit of a mess no matter how you do it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mess. I don't know. I know when I go Monday, Wednesdays, I go to, not Monday, I don't teach on Monday in the afternoon. On Wednesday, Friday, I go to Res. On Tuesday, Thursday, I go to IHM. And I do the same lesson for both schools. And then I teach here.
But that must be nice because you have kind of a head start before the kids come here. Yes. So when they start band here, it's not like introductory band.
Right.
They already have got a little bit in there.
Yes. And they know me, which is nice.
That is.
One of my favorite things of the year with the band stuff is the costume concert around Halloween.
Yes.
To see a band conductor dressed up as Elmo is certainly quite an experience.
Every year, are you always Elmo?
I am never Elmo, but I do dress up very simply, usually something black with a headband of some sort. I've been a bee and a cat.
Because who was the other? There was another...
Miss Monk from Resurrection.
Yeah, I remember being very hot in that gym with all those people, and then she was in that full body Elmo suit, or maybe it was the Cookie Monster, actually.
So wait, there was somebody in an Elmo suit here?
Yeah, it was the other
Miss
band
Monk.
conductor,
Yeah.
So the current play that we're putting on, tell us about that play.
We're producing My Fair Lady, yay, which is the story of a Cockney girl who is found by a stubborn professor who looks down on her and decides to take her under his wing and make her a lady.
This was when my first year teaching again, or my second year. That was the first student play I went to when I was in Denver. So tell us about who's involved with this.
Caitlin Ludwig is our Eliza. That's the lead, and she's doing an awesome job. And then Peter Krause is our Henry Higgins, also doing a very fine job. And then Finn is our Pickering. He's pretty awesome. He's really good.
Is he going to steal the show?
No. Alfred Doolittle, which is Eliza's dad, is Jackson Job, and he's really good.
And that's my favorite song from My Fair Lady, which is Get Me to the Church on Time. That would be Mr. Doolittle, correct?
Yes. And Jamie and Harry, which is Aaron and Rose, and they are his sidekicks, and then the chorus. And it's a big dance number, and it's awesome.
Is there a particular number or arrangement that you're looking forward to seeing on stage the most?
I'm looking forward to all of them, but my personal favorite scene is Ascot, which is the races.
Yeah.
Because it's all black and white, and we have the dress, which is amazing. There's, the Eliza Doolittle dress that's iconic from the movie.
So by the time this podcast gets uploaded, we'll be in Tech Week, the week right before the show actually starts. So tell us about where people can find their tickets and what the show times are.
Okay, so shows are the 1st and 2nd of March and the 8th and 9th of March. And the Friday is a 7 o'clock show. Saturday the 2nd is a 1 o'clock show. And then the next weekend are both 7 o'clock. And you can get your tickets at Ticketer, TICKETOR.com/LCHS drama.
Father, I bet we could put that in our comment section of this podcast,
Put
right?
that in the show notes.
So if you're listening to this and you're trying to find tickets, we'll make sure this is in the comment section. So you just click on the link, buy your tickets, and then are the tickets digital or do you pick them up?
They're digital, or you can print them out, or you can pick them up, I think.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Ms. Tietsort.
Thank you.
Best of luck. We've also got an interview with some of those lead actors in the show, so let's transfer over to that now.
Well, very good.
Well, I've got in the studio today 2 of our students that are in the play, so how about you introduce yourselves and tell us what roles you have in the show?
My name is Finn Keenan, and I'm Colonel Pickering, the second male lead.
My name is Caitlin Ludwig. I am the female lead, Eliza Doolittle.
So how many musicals have you two been in over the years?
I've been in 2. Well, this is my second. Last year I was in Cinderella, I was in the ensemble, and then this year I'm Colonel Pickering.
Nice.
This is my 3rd musical. I was in Wizard of Oz my freshman year and Cinderella last year.
Now, I did some musicals when I was in high school, and I remember as the time was getting closer to showtime, it was like crunch time. And usually it was feeling like we weren't quite ready, but somehow it all came together. So how would you say you're at right now in the play production? We're just a few weeks away. Are you like right on track, or are you behind, or what's the status of things there?
I'd say personally, I think I'm doing pretty well. I just memorized my last line. I think I should have those down well by the play, but as a whole, I think it'll be interesting. We don't have a ton of practices left, but I think, we can get our act together and do it. It's always kind of rushed, and it seems like, how could we pull everything together? But I think we'll be able to.
Somehow it all comes together.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually for Tech Week, which is the week before the musical, everything sort of starts going into its places. But right now we're a little behind, so we're taking every day and doing as much as we can, and praying for no more snow days, which doesn't seem likely right now.
No,
So
I think you're in luck there. Well, thanks for coming in. Best of luck in the show, and I look forward to seeing you guys on stage.
Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.
What else is going on, Father? Anything
I
else?
think that's it.
All right.
So let's go switch to the mailbag.
Letters. We get letters. We get sacks and sacks of letters.
Okay.
That's an old David Letterman jingle.
Okay, great. Our first question from the mailbag today is, why do we have assigned parking? So in the student lot, there is assigned parking. Each student is supposed to park in a particular place. Why is that?
Oh, I would probably say efficiency. If we need, let's say something happens to a car or a vehicle out there, and we need to figure out whose it is, we don't just have to memorize everybody's make and model of their car. We have a list that will tell us who's parked where and whose car has been vandalized. My first year teaching, let me tell you a story. My first year teaching, I was teaching at a school called Bishop Matchbuff in Denver, Colorado. And this is like September, so I've been a teacher for about a month. And the dean of students at the time comes to me and knocks on the door and says, "You gotta come with me." So I go out there, and some young punk had broken into my car and stolen my iPod. And this is back in the day, so the iPods are still a thing. Stole right off the seat. Smashed the window. I was supposed to go to the Rockies game that night, and I was late because, again, some punk broke my window. And didn't have an iPod anymore. So we had the old systems of cameras, but all they caught was a truck, and the guy's getting out, and I saw him smash the window and never got the guy, never got my iPod. So someone out there is listening to some pretty rad music that I had on my iPod and probably judging me for it.
Did you hear that my truck got stolen after Thanksgiving?
Were you parked in your assigned spot?
I was not. No, this is at St. Gerard where I live. I leave the truck there most of the time because I have a little car that I drive to school. And I got home one day and the truck was just gone. It had been stolen in broad daylight. They went and checked the security cameras. This guy comes in a green SUV with tinted out windows and no license plate, and just.
There had to be two guys, right? Because he didn't drive two cars.
Well,
away.
you're right. So some guy dropped him off.
So it was a sting.
Yeah. Broke
All right.
in with a crowbar and.
If you too have stories of car theft or vandalism, please email us and let us know about your story.
Next question is, why is there no music during adoration? So we have adoration on Fridays here at school. So every theology class throughout the day will come in for half of their time, and then the second half of class, they're back in the classroom. We did have adoration last year, I think like once a month. We had a musician come in. Partly, we don't do it now because that musician is no longer available, and we haven't really found a good substitute for that. We could like play recorded music, I suppose, but that involves its own challenges. Sometimes if you don't have like a good playlist set up ahead of time, it might not be like the best sort of music for adoration. It can be a little distracting, or sometimes there's like the Bluetooth cuts off all of a sudden, then it's distracting, and it's like Bluetooth disconnected, all that kind of thing. So
that's probably distracting to people who are praying.
Yes, but
what kind of music is best for adoration, Father?
Well,
CCR?
I don't even know what that is.
Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Oh, okay. I heard of that. Yeah. No, we don't play that. We play, Christian praise and worship music. Damascus worship is good. Stuff that hopefully helps
usually
you
instrumental.
Go into prayer. You could do instrumental. Yeah, that's nice too.
Chant, Gregorian chant.
Well, I mean, we could certainly do that. It'd be a little bit of a different vibe, but
do you want me to record a bunch of hits?
You can already stop. I don't want you to record.
And we can have it out there. And here's On Eagle's Wings.
That is a classic. Well, that's all we have today, folks. If you have questions, be sure to submit them in the link in the show notes. It's been great being with you. Enjoy your day off. We'll see you later.
Have a good day.